I haven't heard from him. Exchanged an email or two yesterday. I did just start the YouTube video, Mayor, and I'm gonna start the recording here of our meeting.
This conference will now be recorded.
That's notice for everybody. Usually quiets the crowd.
Got a good case? Huh? Think you got a good case?
Arranged.
Morning. Afternoon.
Didn't you get your pool ready?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I got all the sand changed out, the sand filter yesterday. I got new sand in there. Hadn't been done for about 10 years.
Not quite warm enough for the pool yet.
But at least I got that part done. I was kind of dreading that. That's the first time I had a guy helping me, so that was a professional. And that way I could learn without screwing it up. A lot of people here.
You have the pay ordinance, right? Okay. Need a pen? Perfect. Extra chairs.
Are you ready?
And just the TV.
At 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the May 4th City Council meeting of DeSoto to order. Start with roll call, please.
Murdoch,
Here.
Daniels,
Here.
Hunter-Michael,
Here.
Ritter,
Here.
Lane,
Here.
all are present.
All right. I would invite you all to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think he wanted to say me, the fourth.
Our first item tonight is a proclamation for National Gun Awareness Month. Declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Whereas every day more than 120 Americans are killed by gun violence and more than 200 are shot and wounded, with an average of more than 17,000 gun homicides every year, and whereas Kansas has 456 gun deaths in an average year with a rate of 15.7 deaths per 100,000 people, and the 21st highest rate of gun deaths in the U.S., a crisis that costs the state $5.7 billion each year, of which $95.1 million is paid by taxpayers. And whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas on June 2nd, 2023, people across the United States all recognize and raise awareness about gun violence on National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas in tribute to Hadia Pendleton, who was tragically shot and killed at the age of 15, a group of her friends decided to commemorate her life by wearing orange, choosing this color because hunters use it to announce themselves to other hunters, and it is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas wearing orange colors, Hadia is, as well as all victims of gun violence and loved ones of all victims, and whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun owners to help keep our children safe, now therefore be it resolved that I, Rick Walker, Mayor of DeSoto, Kansas, declare June 2nd, 2023 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And I encourage all citizens to support their local community's efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor the value of human lives. All right, and we presented the proclamation to the folks from the National Gun Awareness Group. Thank you for coming tonight.
You're welcome, thank you.
Our next item tonight is our consent agenda. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have approval of the minutes of the council meeting from April 20th, approval of pay ordinance number 948, approval of temporary use permit for Spring Fling event, approval of agreement with Kansas City Fire and Security for fire alarm maintenance and inspection services, approval of donation requests from Starside Elementary, PTA, and approve agreement with Johnson County government for the Notify JOCO services. Is there any item that anyone would wish to remove from the consent agenda for further discussion? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Let's do roll call, please.
Lane,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Hanamichael,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item 2 is call to public. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to comment about any matter relating to city business not listed on tonight's agenda. The comments that are discussed under call to public may or may not be acted on by the council during this meeting. There's a 4-minute time limit. Does anyone wish to address the council under call to public? Please come to the podium, state your name and address.
I'm Leslie Jansen, 35300 West 95th Street. I've been a resident since '99, had a business here before that. I am on 95th Street. We are, myself and my neighbors, are bearing an undue burden of this mad rush to get Panasonic up. No one is telling us who's supposed to be on our property. No one is telling us who's not. No one's enforcing such things. No one is communicating with us in any way, shape, or form of what is going on. Evergy is blasting right through. We don't know who to trust. We don't know who is telling us the truth. And frankly, I've gotten so many mixed answers from the city, I'm disgusted. And not proud to be here anymore. We are being run out. All of my neighbors and I are being run out. You guys are gonna try to push a road that you don't even know how big is gonna be, and other things through so that the big developers can take over. And don't appreciate that. I've been here since '99. I've been a taxpayer. My clients go to all the shops in DeSoto. They come to the events. My child goes to school here. And what you are doing to us is unreasonable. And I mean, I haven't even known about this for a year, and I'm having to relocate. I'm losing customers because nobody wants to deal with the cluster that's going on our road. When the city won't even tell me if it's a 2-lane or a 4-lane road and when it's going in. I mean, that should be a simple question. And there's other questions of, Evergy is saying that my fences need to be moved by the city. The city's saying, no, that's Evergy's problem. Well, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of horses under my care and have been here since '99. I do not appreciate this at all. I feel run over the top of. I feel not heard. And I am speaking for my neighbors as well. We want to know what is going on our street and when. Like for me, I have to hire fence contractors that y'all or Evergy or someone has to pay to move so that you can run me out. I mean, it is just disgusting.
I think your time's up. Thank you for your comments.
Oh,
Appreciate
that
it.
was not 4 minutes.
I was by my clock. Thank you.
Okay, Rick Walker. I
Thank
will
you
make
for
a
your
note of that, and
comments.
I will just take it to the media. And we'll see how they like what you're doing.
Anyone else under call to public? Seeing none, we will move on to our regular items. Item 3, old business, we do not have any, so we'll go to item 4A, receive update from Kansas Department of Transportation on construction activities. Chap, are you going to introduce anything, or just turn it loose?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. KDOT's here to talk about the progress and the schedule on 103rd Street and the construction on that. So the project will be kicking off early to mid-June, and they've been doing a great job of keeping us involved in the project. So I think, Paul, are you going to start today?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Paul Kulseth, Project Director from the Kansas Department of Transportation. So we went through a progressive design build process to select a consultant contractor team. We made that selection a few months ago, and Clarkson Construction Company is leading that effort with HDR as the designer. And Kevin Kellerman is here with Clarkson to talk about some updates.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Kellerman, project manager for the design build project that we're going to be upgrading 103rd Street in Lexington between 95th Street and Evening Star Road. So we've got a little slideshow we can advance here, agenda. We'll go through the project schedule, what to expect as far as road closures and traffic impacts, what we're going to do for community outreach and coordination, as well as an update on some K-10 signage and an anticipated date for our groundbreaking event. So as far as project schedule, we're anticipating construction activities to begin in early to mid-June. We have 3 different milestones we're working with KDOT and the city to reach. The first one being completing the improvements along 103rd Street between Edgerton Road and 95th Street, as well as Astor Parkway, to be open to traffic by June 30th of 2024. The second milestone would be completing the remaining work outside of the curb and gutter section, as well as the remaining roadway between Edgerton Road and Evening Star by the end of 2024. And then the third milestone would be to complete any permanent striping or seeding or temperature dependent items by spring of 2025. So the handout I gave you is up here on a slide. It kind of gives a layout of our phasing of construction. Our initial phase will be to close 103rd Street between 95th, close it to through traffic between 95th Street and Edgerton Road, so that we can construct the 4-lane section between Edgerton Road and Astor Parkway and down Astor Parkway to the security gate. That will include 2 roundabouts. And that piece of work will then be followed up by work west of there along 103rd Street, It will be to construct the new westbound lanes while the eastbound lanes remain open to the ball fields until July 31st of 2023, excuse me. The section of roadway between 95th Street and Astor Parkway will be done in halves so that we can maintain local access to the Panasonic site for the Army Corps of Engineers, all the local businesses along Lexington Avenue. We'll construct the new lanes, switch traffic to the new lanes, and then tear out and reconstruct the westbound, southbound lanes at that point. So as I mentioned, we will maintain access to properties along Lexington Avenue throughout the duration of the project. Lexington Avenue and 103rd Street will be closed to through traffic for the project and beginning in mid-June. We're going to construct an access road along the east side of Astor Parkway that will service employees constructing the Panasonic site, as well as the Army Corps, Sunflower Redevelopment, and the City of DeSoto Water Treatment Plant. And again, I wanted to emphasize that we will leave the roadway open for access to the Sunflower Ball Fields through July 31st. And that will be accessible from the west, the Evening Star interchange.
Okay, so obviously with a project of this size and at this speed, we have to have a lot of outreach and communication. So what our team has done is we've tried to incorporate the different aspects. So we've been meeting with Whitney and members from our team to make sure that our communication with the metro and area offices from KDOT, we have hired, KDOT has hired the Ike Transportation Partner Group with Burns McDonnell and Garver to handle program management consultant for a lot of projects at KDOT, and they're involved with some of that outreach event. And we've also in Len incorporated Shockey and Mays with the City of DeSoto. So we've had coordination meetings with all those people in that group to discuss how we can handle communication, who's going to lead certain things, and make sure that we collaborate before things are posted online, and that to make sure that the messaging is consistent, and we figure out who's going to initiate that outreach. So we've already established that line of communication. We're going to have regular meetings to make sure that we are all on the same page. So that's already started, which is good. And then, as I said, we're collaborating with Whitney on a regular basis to make sure that the city is kept up to speed on things. So, next slide. KTED signage update, which we have talked about from the beginning, obviously with annexing some land and expanding DeSoto city limits. You're now moving from a 2-exit town to a 4-exit town. We've had some correspondence in the past that the signage lacked the space between the E and the S. We're correcting that as well. You can go to the next slide. The two signs that you see that are currently at Edgerton, and then the city limit sign, so on this slide, the two there on the right side, those are being removed, and then we're replacing them with the two signs on the left. So we'll have a sign west of Evening Star that'll show the next 4 exits, and then the new city limit sign at Evening Star Road. Next slide. And then from the coming westbound, just west of K7, we'll replace the sign that shows the mileage to the city limit. We'll replace the city limit sign, and then also replace the next 2 exits to 4 exits. So that's coming with this project, and that'll be replaced with all the other signage that's in there. So, okay. Groundbreaking event, we've communicated this with Whitney and Chet and Mike, that we tentatively have a date set for Thursday, June 29th. We have other dignitaries that will be invited, and when that is set on the governor's schedule, then it will be communicated to everyone. Right now, that's a tentative date, but we want you to save that date and hold for future reference. So, okay. We are available if anybody has any questions. Contact information is on the slide, but we also have a co-location office down the street on Commerce Drive that Kevin, myself, and others are at on a daily basis for the most part. So if anybody wants to stop by, Chet and others have stopped by for meetings, and we can stop by here anytime that we're needed as well. So, okay, open up for questions.
Quick one. So beyond the work on the ramp that's finished up, less maybe some striping, any activity, will we see any construction activity prior to the 6/29 date along
No, a separate project would be the eastbound Kill Creek Bridge, over the creek, actual creek itself, not the Kill Creek Drive. That's a totally separate project, but will be scheduled, very soon to work on the westbound bridge to have guardrail installed for head-to-head traffic. The, crossover's already installed from previous projects, so that'll be happening soon. But other than that, no, there won't be any. It really, it's contractually, right? So we've got some things, they're minor things.
There could be, depending on if we get to a contract prior to then, we could start work prior to the 29th, but.
Oh, yes,
all
sorry,
other
I see what you're saying, yes,
Yeah.
it will be before that. The groundbreaking event, there will be construction before that,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
I didn't know if that was gonna be the initiation of your physical work on the road, or if you'll start and that's just the ceremonial start.
It's more the ceremonial. We'll be starting as soon as we have a contract, yes, early June, yep.
Questions from council?
Maybe a check question, but can you speak to the coordination of the schedule between Phase 1 and Edgerton Road, how that's playing together?
Okay, so Edgerton Road schedule is currently, right now, is to be complete by the end of May. So, end of May, early June,
Is that
so.
on track? Okay.
Mhm.
All right,
We had a
so
meeting.
that'll finish before 1A even starts?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So access from the north along Edgerton will be accessible for local landowners and for the Flint development themselves during that construction, so. To be able to complete the Edgerton Road roundabout, we'd have to close that access, from the east. So that red portion between Edgerton and Astor Parkway, that would be closed for that construction, so. But we meet regularly with the Flint development and coordinate that effort as well. So we had a meeting today, actually.
Any other questions from folks? All right, thank you for your update. Appreciate you coming tonight. If you'd like to go ahead and leave, don't feel compelled to stay for the rest of the meeting. You're welcome. Item 4B, consider CMB license for Pizza Hut or PH of DeSoto.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you may have noticed, the old Pizza Hut location is being renovated. Last week, I received the CMB license applications from PH of DeSoto. They plan to renovate the location and reopen the location as a Pizza Hut. Since the ownership group is different from the previous ownership group, and per city code, all first-time applicants must appear before the city council to answer questions. I thought this would be a great opportunity for the business owners to discuss their business and give an update on their plans and the opening date. There are representatives from PH of DeSoto in the room, and there is a suggested motion at the bottom of the agenda item.
Okay. Would you like to provide us with a little bit of update on your business?
Yeah, a little bit.
All
So
right.
we're actually based out of Hayes, Kansas. And this is our 26th store. So everything was small town America. So this will be our biggest one. My franchisee, he's been since 1965 and he still works and he's here every day. So he was here yesterday and today, but he comes during the remodel. We're planning on opening June 1st.
June.
And so we're hiring a team now. We've got about 20 so far, so we want to get 30.
Okay.
And it seems to be going pretty well. It'll be nice. We are putting the buffet and the salad bar back in. So that'll be a good thing. Obviously, it'll be higher price, but
Yeah.
But we'll have it, and we're pretty excited to be here. Pretty lucky, I think.
Well, we're excited to have you back open. Thank you for coming to DeSoto and reopening a Pizza Hut here.
Thank you for allowing us. So we're excited. So
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Anybody ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to approve the CMB license for PH of DeSoto. Order the city clerk to issue the CMB license and submit the appropriate paperwork to the state of Kansas.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Hunamichael,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right. Item C, consider final plat number 12 for Carriage House.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. What you have before you is the 12th final plat for the carriage houses. There will be another one after this. We initially start with the platting of the boundary, and then it'll come back when each individual unit is surveyed and Each stall or unit can be then sold. So this is the first step in getting this project started. As I said, there will be a replat that will come before you probably in a few months once the walls, the interior walls and roof are on the building, and then they will start beginning the process of selling each individual unit. But this is one of the first steps in the process. So the Planning Commission did approve the final plat and recommends to the council to accept easements and rights-of-way for carriage houses number 12.
Any questions on the plat? Motion to approve.
I make the motion, we approve the carriage house number 12 final plat and accept the easements and right-of-way of carriage house number 12.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ritter,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Hanamichael,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Mayor Walker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item D, consider final plat for Cottage Creek.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. You have before you the final plat for Cottage Creek. At the March 16th, the Planning Commission approved the site plan for this development, and then also at the April 20th meeting, the council approved vacating the easement along, or vacating property along Lexington Avenue to allow for the proper setbacks on this development. We did maintain a easement along that area that was vacated in case for some reason we might need it for utilities or things like that. However, we have reviewed this. The Planning Commission did approve the final plat, and it is recommended City Council accept easements and right-of-way for Cottage Creek.
Okay. Any questions from council on the plat for Cottage Creek?
They do not list the book and page numbers for the vacation on the plat.
It's not been filed yet.
So,
recorded
but
yet.
when that gets updated, does that require any other action, or can those elements of the plat be updated without any other
Yeah.
action on our
Oh,
part?
well, I guess I'll ask let Patrick.
Yeah. We can file an affidavit with the recorder's office to have it reflected on the plat.
Okay, and not have to come back for
Right.
action, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll make a motion that we accept the final plat for Cottage Creek and recommend that the city accept easements and right-of-way for Cottage Creek along with the vacation of Lexington Avenue right-of-way.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lane,
Yes.
Hanamichael,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Mayor Walker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
All right, I guess one thing, Mayor, unbeknownst to me, my bride decided to show up at a meeting tonight, so for the first time, she is attended a city council meeting,
All right,
so.
well, welcome. Item E, consider ordinance 2575 implementing revisions to city economic incentives policy.
Yes, council, this is my item. We had a work session on these proposed revisions prior to the last city council meeting. And based on the feedback there, I've provided additional red line markups of the revisions for your consideration. And Patrick's prepared the ordinance that will officially adopt those. I did summarize the policy language changes in the staff report. So based on our discussions, essentially as a reminder, the incentive policy is really the last function of the housing committee that we started last fall to look at the increased need for housing in DeSoto because of the Panasonic project and other industrial developments that are on the way, and also the intensified interest in housing in DeSoto just from the development community. So the housing committee met on this several times, made a recommendation, and then we discussed those changes at the workshop 2 weeks ago. So in summary, what it does is it adds some urgency to, it encourages urgency to residential, multifamily residential development in DeSoto. Essentially allows the council to consider incentive requests for multifamily projects that are not already in an identified incentive area within our current policy. So during that process, we've also made some slight revisions to the process for receiving and presenting those applications to the city council. Essentially, it would be a two-step process more than a single-step process where the initial incentive would come, the request would come in its unaltered state without any specific recommendations from the financing committee for the council to discuss, and then at a follow-up meeting based on that discussion would have a recommendation at a follow-up meeting. We also had some minor changes to the policy matrix, which identifies the policy considerations for each incentive area. So I've listed those there in the staff report, and then we did change the map to include one new policy area, and we've also identified specific areas, specifically Flint and Astra, that already have a policy in place. We've already have a development in place that gives economic incentives for those areas. So we've identified those on the map just to show that that step has been taken. So Exhibit A to your staff report contains I guess you call it a red line, but they printed off blue, so blue and green, green line, same thing. Under limitations there, we do specifically indicate that we're not including single-family residential projects in the incentives discussion at this time. And we do specify that multifamily residential projects that are outside a particular incentive area, that we will consider those as well. In addition, we put a deadline for initiation. That was another point of emphasis during our work session, was the fact that we need housing sooner rather than later, and we wanted to encourage developments to implement those projects rather than coming now, getting an incentive approved, and then holding the property for years or years on. That doesn't really help our immediate needs. So there's a restriction on that. The incentive level, the maximum incentive level set at 80% with a step down of that maximum incentive level over the next several years. And this is something I don't think we discussed specifically at the work session, but those incentive step downs go to 0 by 2030. But so in 2020, 24 and 25, the incentive level would be 80%. And then in 26, it steps down to 60, steps down to 40% in 27. 28 goes to 20, and then 29 goes to 10%. So I don't think that was something specifically discussed there. The other green lines are there on Exhibit A, as is the policy map. So as you can see from the policy areas, these dotted shaded areas are the ones where we have already approved an incentive. So the Flint property is shown there, and Astra is shown as areas that have already received an incentive. We've also included the Merck facility off of 91st Street as an incentive mechanism that's already in place. And there's several others that are kind of small, too small to really see it for scale here. But those have been identified there. And then the matrix as well, I have highlighted, these are too small to see, sorry. I did highlight the minor changes, and those were articulated in the staff report that happens to the matrix there. So with that, Exhibit B is an ordinance that Patrick has prepared for your consideration that would incorporate these changes into Article 13, our economic development incentives in the city code. So I'll stand for any questions.
All right. Thank you. Questions from council, comments?
Comment, question, Mike and Patrick and whoever else was involved. Good job picking up the comments. I thought you captured, at least from the ones that I was looking at, you captured the revisions really well. On the matrix, since the future land use descriptions were originally aligned with the descriptions that are in the comprehensive plan. I assume the feedback loop will go the other way, if you will, and that a future update to the comp plan would incorporate the edits made to these revisions.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
Just
to remember that.
Because ultimately, they'll do a annual update or whatever. and We just want to remember to tie these back together.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, that was the only comment I had.
All right, thank you. Lori, any comments, questions?
No, I think I'm fine, thank you.
All right, Rob?
So item C, the residential projects, that is up to 80% or up to a maximum incentive level, not guaranteed level at that point. Likewise in the matrix, question on that. It says in there, I mean, the language is 75% of property taxes up to 10 years, and I'm just grabbing any one of them. Should that be up to 50% property taxes for 10 years as opposed to 50% with the up to being the variable?
That's a good point.
And that would be
Yeah.
across the board on pretty much any of them, to where that falls in line with what we did above of the maximum incentive level is.
Yeah, correct. I think there is language in the text that says that the matrix represents maximum levels, but if we're gonna put up to 10 years, probably does make sense to put up to the percentage level as well. Yeah. For clarity.
That was just the clarification.
Okay, thank you. Kevin?
There was one project that we had the committee talking about, the 82nd Street project. Will it, since there's no designated area for it, will it fall into an area that's receiving its in?
So remind me of the.
82nd and Shawnee.
Oh, yeah,
Plant
so
property.
it will be one of those that is outside of a particular area that would be covered by this policy now. That otherwise, before probably wouldn't be, but now would be. Again, there's another caveat in the policy that says that this is a framework and it is at the council's discretion.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that people understood that.
Yeah,
I
that's,
fully understood as well.
yeah, that project would fall under these new guidelines that we're talking about here.
Yeah, wouldn't it be under C, that residential area where it says projects not located in incentive areas 1, 2, and 3, therefore fall into that specifically?
Yeah, exactly.
The second one I had is, does it seem like the process of taking it and bringing it back and looking at it will delay anybody's?
Certainly there's a
project
chance for that.
I mean, will there be any
It's,
incurred cost for any of those people like finance rates?
that's true. There is a chance for that.
If they
I'm
want
not-
an 80%
I'm not trying to hold
abatement,
this up,
they
I'm
can
just
wait.
asking,
Yeah.
you were setting this threshold, and I just wanted to make.
It's another step. It's another step in the process for sure.
Danny, any?
No, I'm good with it, Mayor, thank you.
I think the one meeting delay, that potentially, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at worst if it hits kind of an extra week, month. I mean, I think we're pretty, if we want to compare ourselves to some other larger cities around us, I think we are fairly nimble. And I think most of the development community would agree with that. And I think it's important for us, if that extra meeting is going to help us to be more comfortable and make better decisions, then I think it's important that we include that in there.
I would just recommend trying to not add any unnecessary delays with the way that the Fed moves rates up and down, because from the time some incentives have been, applications have been turned in, which was 2-3 weeks ago, the Fed's moved at least once and talked about moving a second time, which changes the pro formas form as well, and changes the incentives that they may or may not need to ask for based on the size of the projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of adding on to that, generally, from my experience, when you're looking at your application date and you're backing off all of the timeframes that apply, you're gonna build that 2 weeks into your consideration for when you need to apply by to hit when you're wanting the approval at the far end of it.
I guess the other point of it is, you know, the date that you get financing is completely independent of the date that you might get an incentive approved. So you're, as a developer, you're kind of at risk through the whole process as to when you actually
Yeah.
close and
Yeah.
sign, right? I mean, so, it's just another variable that they have to consider in their development process. But I think it's important for us, and I think we need to consider, but I do,
Yeah,
I do understand that, no, we don't want to unnecessarily delay someone we need to timely, consider and deliberate about any, request that comes before us, but, do it in our time. Kevin, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you finished, you basically finished what I was thinking as well. So yeah, I'm with you.
Any further? So, you've noted the items that Rob pointed out in the matrix?
In the matrix, yep.
Do we want to approve it pending,
Patrick, it's an ordinance.
Yeah, it's an ordinance,
so
so
we-
you'll have to specify exactly what you're changing, which I think I
Okay.
think you were just saying proceeding the
Just, yeah.
level
Yeah.
of abatement, say up to on
Up to
each of those.
75% for 10 years or up to,
Yeah.
just,
And I think that's fine. If everybody's comfortable with that, we'll just
So let's
that
make sure
change.
that the motion includes that verbiage,
Yep.
if we're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2575 with a change to the economics incentive matrix table to add the phrase, quote, up to, unquote, to proceed each location where a maximum percentage of constitutional tax abatement appears.
I'll second that. And just to note, that brings it in line with the community improvement district and the other languages, just
Throughout the
noticing
table.
there that brings it up to be the same terminology and language.
Okay. Do we have a second? Oh, I'm sorry, you have a second. Any discussion of the motion? Roll call, please.
Ritter,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Hanamichael,
Yes.
Murdoch.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item 5, executive session. I think we have 2 items tonight to take up under executive session by 2 separate motions.
And if you can invite the city administrator and city engineer into the executive session, both of them.
Both of them? Okay, I'll make a motion. We recess into executive session at 7:40 for 10 minutes to discuss acquisition of right-of-way pursuant to land acquisition KSA 754319B6 with the open meeting resuming in the city council chamber at 7:50. And I'd like to invite the city administrator and city engineer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
And Mayor, I will have to abstain from the executive session since firm I'm associated with prepared the exhibit associated.
Brandon, would you note that for the record, please?
Noted.
Thank you.
I will remind the room, the recording will continue to run and I believe it'll still record sound. So just be aware of that the live stream is still going.
About getting shut down.
What? Yeah.
You don't know where your phone is?
No clue. I sat down and I was like, I'll turn my phone off. I don't know. It's probably sitting on my desk.
Oh my
but-
gosh.
I'm not gonna do it. Have you been getting them? Or did you just? No, okay. I'm glad. I thought I did. What is up your brother, Joe? Oh, I was the college. I like the house is done. I was just wondering what space.
Not everybody likes it. People just want little, they don't want any space, they don't want mow, they don't want anything.
I know.
And that's today.
They're very cute. I know. And it's absolutely disgusting. They're pushing us a lot. They're running over top of us and it's disgusting. They're not telling us anything. Okay, well, this has been going on for months. I mean, everybody's trying to push through. And, yeah, I know, but, I mean, my life and livelihood hang in the balance. I mean, they're trying to take my turnouts. I have no safe place to put my horses. And they can't even tell me if it's 2 lanes or 4 lanes. I mean, come on, people. If they're approving housing, multifamily housing, they changed the zoning across from me. Yeah, they just did last week. And I had to give up my job tonight to be here.
Well, I think that there's a conversation.
Not enough.
Well, I'm just saying that I believe everybody is aware that communication is important. And I think that they are going to try, and not try, they're going to do a better job.
They haven't. I have had trespassers again on my ground.
But I do believe that you will see from this point forward, I mean.
Haven't seen anything yet. I'm just
But I
sick.
think, I hope.
Well,
I hope.
I know one person in particular, planning commission's playing both sides, and I've just been sitting here emailing, news channels. Because somebody, this is gonna be on Dateline Sunday, this shit they're doing. It is horrendous. My life is hell. I can't take clients on because I don't know how long I'm gonna be there. I don't know if my driveway's gonna be open. I don't know where to keep my horses safe.
And, taking pictures for the city and taking pictures for the something else.
But they're pushing small businesses out. Like me, they're pushing me out.
On Monday night, and on Tuesday is Lexington Club's last band concert.
I have like 12 signs across my front. Evergy, random people, and,
Keep on me busy.
water stuff. I've caught them all. I take pictures of everybody.
It'll be online tonight, but
Yeah, water
you have a
stuff.
hard copy.
There are, citizens
We have to, anything
in
that's
my
like
property,
publicly
in
handed
my
to council, I
business,
have to
by my
I
business.
have to put it on the website.
Okay, yeah.
Some of
Just
them are.
For our
$60,000
own knowledge,
to
we would put an
$80,000
ordinance of when
I think-
roads are
And
shut
they're putting
down.
I think
stakes in
Chip,
the ground.
so KDOT sent a whole like blast off
They're
email,
not
like
contacting me
timelines. I think Chip was on
or
there, but I
anybody
could be
else.
wrong.
And,
We need to send
you
it
know,
out to us.
he just shut me down.
Just so I can
They
just
don't wanna
put it
listen
in
to
our own
me.
notes.
Like,
You
so
know,
I'm just
starting here,
Mhm.
but 103rd Street, you know,
Blow it up.
Yeah.
Edgeton's gonna be closed.
That's gonna.
So those sections, are like fully shut
No, it
down, those
wasn't. That was
sections for
not
now, or?
That's my understanding.
Or two and through traffic?
So
What? Yeah.
they're shutting it.
Well,
What's going on? Understanding of it.
Well, it's our band trip. Every 2 years.
I wanted to undo or unblock some of those barricades.
I understand it's just no, it's on fire already.
Is it for like a break?
No, we go and perform. we're gonna perform somewhere in all closed to.
Is it over the
Yeah,
summer?
that's my understanding. I don't know.
Spring break.
Oh, for spring break. Oh, wow.
Well, and the fact that I was a letter
I assume there's money for it.
Yeah, well, what we do, we raise money, plus, we have to come up for our.
Families chip in.
Yeah.
Smile.
I don't know. Can you email it to me? It's like, why am I emailing the city stuff I should already know?
I chose to do the single room. So my portion of the trip is gonna cost $2,025.
And that's airfare, lodging,
Lodging,
meals?
meals.
Oh, and meals? Oh, well, okay.
I'm assuming they're.
You start breaking that down and.
Yes,
Yeah, I got a trip.
yeah.
Coming up in June to Washington DC. It's like $900, so almost half of that could just be airfare. I assume they charter a plane if that many people.
Probably.
They're able to get a charter flight.
Yeah, probably, and I figured they'll probably, since we're going to California, it's probably gonna be Southwest Airlines.
Yeah.
I can't even find a fence contractor,
Like,
because I don't know where they need to go.
the whole day will probably take up 2 planes.
Do parents go or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, because surely there's like chaperones.
Chaperones.
Adults on the.
Adults, yeah.
Yeah.
Insurance appraiser was out yesterday. They're both total.
Really? Wow, I'm surprised that one with just the fender. Why don't you just cash that and fix the car and keep it?
Appraised the car at about 4,500 and the body work for that was at about 39.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
forget it.
Body work adds up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real
it
quick.
does.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That's it. Has a red fender
There you go.
stock right now.
I know, it's only a few bolts, probably.
Right.
$60 and a few bolts.
Guy like you could
So
do
you're gonna
that.
get
I'll keep them. If nothing else, I'll replace the fender and turn around and
yeah.
because they offered me.
What time are we coming back in?
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, what time did we have back in? 2 more
2 more
minutes?
minutes, all right. 7:50.
Yeah.
I was emailing. Yeah.
No, I was talking about.
Oh.
That's why I was thinking you were saying it first. That's why I'm like, yeah, I read that.
Sure.
Up to 80,000.
Do you want to do the,
Authorized city administrator.
before we do the second?
Do the motion,
Then go back.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Finish the
Yeah.
work with the, 1 more minute.
It's not those that disagree with you. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna say no, it's recorded.
All right, it is 7:50. We are back in regular session.
I will make a motion that we authorize the city administrator to appropriate up to $80,000 for property acquisition for right-of-way easements.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to purchase right-of-way. Any discussion of the motion? Roll call, please.
Murdoch.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Carmichael.
Abstain.
Ritter.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
All right, I'd like to make a motion, we recess into executive session at 7:50 to discuss employee performance issue and hiring of personnel, pursuant to non-elected personnel KSA 754319B1 with the open meeting returning in the city council chamber at 8:05.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can you invite Chet
Oh, I'd like to
Sorry.
invite Chet to this
and
meeting.
the city administrator?
And the city administrator, please.
Okay, we've amended the motion to include the city administrator and the city engineer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Right. Right, KJ's for dinner? What?
They're trying, I thought they're trying to get 1.52 acres. Yeah, and pay $1.15 a square foot, which is 50,000 an acre, which is way below market. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm Leslie Jansen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just fed up. And I don't put up with crap.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a, does she keep looking for you? Traffic this way around. Yeah.
And I wanna keep owning it. Well, I'm the only Jansen that owns a horse barn. My daughter lives to this. I've owned my place since '99. On 95th Street. Yeah, that's neat. Unless you're thinking of, my husband died in 2009. With cancer. And I fought my way through 2009. October 24th, about 6:30 in the morning, I saw him take his last breath. And then I filed for bankruptcy. So I have fought my way back. Never. And I have fought my way back from the death of a husband and bankruptcy. Not getting run over. What do you do? I trained for,
I was an intern.
have since '99. Sorry, Joe.
Every week.
No. I'm just outspoken. You write this pretty calm. You fell.
And like so actually we have here. And
I'm the only
county
Jansen.
manager and the assistant county manager.
Unless he had another wife that I didn't know about.
The manager just like passes hills. Some cough drops. Go do this, go do that. He'd sit there and did that for a year, and then I was a budget meeting. So I put a budget meeting. Listen to the council or the commission. And then when yeah, and then I went to London where there was
Daily effect, I mean, good Lord, there's noise. I can't train horses.
I've
There's
often
noise.
seen if it was
And
not
random,
technical.
and it's scaring my daughter, these random people, I have
Real
12
television.
no trespassing signs,
Anything was
private
actually
property
YouTube.
signs, all along my front fence. Random people still keep coming, and it scares my daughter.
Who's that, that bench that's for sale?
Mine,
Oh. Thank you.
yes, this is disgusting, yes. Because I'm getting pushed out, and I am 50 years old, I am not gonna start over. So somebody has to pay me enough to get me out. I actually don't think it's enough at this point. And that's the only way they're gonna shut me up. Pay me to retire. 21.09. For now, I mean, they're gonna take 3 easements from it. K10 side, 2 on the front. They're all liars. Yeah, I had to cancel my lessons tonight. Got $500 worth of lessons, just to show up to check these people. And I'm pathetic. I don't need another job monitoring what's going on. And I'm sick of it.
Which part of 95th Street are you from Lexington to Cave Creek or
Nope. West of Lex, half a mile west of Lex.
Lexington to Edgerton Road? Oh, okay, so from Lexington to Sunflower.
I'm on the north side, barn with the big road and a pirate flag.
Okay, so on the corner of the city,
Catty corner.
Caddy, and then,
I'm on the north side.
down a little ways.
Yeah. And like I said, my husband and I bought it, built, added on until he was sick, and took care of him for 2 years before he died. And then I built it back up. I have a full barn, I've always had a full barn. And this crap is
Is that,
not being told about it. It's just awful and disgusting, and I'm gonna tell everybody I can. None of us took a lawyer on everybody.
says that it
That's me.
has a, living quarters, is
Yeah,
that,
that's where I live.
is that that
Yep.
little thing right there?
Yep.
In the house?
Yep.
It's not.
It is. It's beautiful. I'm happy there. My people are happy there.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna be happy with apartments and, you know, and I can't even make plans. I mean, this is my show season. I can't even make plans because I don't know what these idiots are doing. And they won't, nobody will come up and be straightforward about anything. And I'm sick of that. I will shoot you straight on anything. You ask me, I will tell you whether you like it or not. I don't appreciate being shined on by. I just have no, I don't need another job.
About your one call.
Yeah, I used to be proud to live here. Now I'm disgusted. It's just, how they treat me. I will never go quietly. This time last year, I had no idea anything about this stuff, and no idea I was gonna have to move.
My parents live in Rosedale. Sunday morning, my grandma went to church.
A few more media people to reach out to.
I'll go sit at, a friend who was there called Parker. Across the state line. For that exact reason. Yeah, he was watching Sunday, watching the Chiefs. Absolutely great. Yeah, he always tells stories like, oh yeah, I was with my friend, or I drive around the block 3 or 4 times until they stop following me, and then go across the state line. It was the same thing, probably the same thing. I don't remember Vern Miller. He was in Kansas There's like 26 cities. That's all you have. Pizza Hut, pizza. Just maybe Casey's and a gas station. That's about it. Sometimes Casey's and maybe Dairy Queen, Pizza Hut and Dairy Queen, that's usually about it.
No, sounds like
Yeah, and that's about it. So, yeah, I can see that there's kind of days, I almost, took me a minute to go back and look at it. Because like, oh,
Her kid's name.
sound like the person.
Okay.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah, yeah.
I hope so. I tried to, I offered, I said, it doesn't say you have to show up in person, it says you have to.
Well, I love it.
You have to.
My people love it.
You have to present yourself or something. I said, "No, I don't know what's there."
And we don't even know what.
She said, no,
What's going
so
on?
we have something. She said,
I listened to the meeting minutes from last week. Same message. Or not last week, Tuesday.
we'll find out.
Well, the planning commission, I had to say, and I was out of town at the horse show. I just got back from a 3-day Junior conference, the research farm, and then went to the horse show in Lincoln. My clients and couldn't make it to the last meeting. So I said,
Yeah, I wish you could kiss me.
oh, you were that other weekend? Yeah, yeah, because I was like, dude, I
It's
didn't
hooked
know
up,
what's
so
going
I have to
on.
walk over the phone
And
and turn it on.
I'm in Lincoln, so.
So it's not, yeah, it's not ideal, but if someone did come in with a wheelchair,
I need to
and they couldn't, we had a
Yeah. Well, I do Western, and we have events, I'm AKHA professional horseman. There are just over 6 million registered quarter horses,
not ideal.
and there are less than 800 professional horsemen in the world.
Supposed to tip off.
And I'm getting kicked out.
You listen to the way home.
Well, I am. I can't be there with
Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
trespassers and
In like July or something?
I can't keep horses safe, I can't work during this construction that we do.
Really?
It's like, I can't live like I'm living on an edge, like.
Yeah. I've heard that. Always been golfer, yeah.
Or is somebody gonna come down the road with a big truck and freak them out and kill them?
Right, you never know, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is my daily life. Or is that big truck coming down the road, or that guy coming in the fence,
Whatever the step below
gonna
that, whatever
split
the
one of these
step
horses? Are they gonna remember to close the gates?
So.
This is what I'm dealing with. And these are people's babies. And some of them work that are trained. Yeah, and some of these horses are $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 horses. Not kidding.
You never know. I mean, maybe. Maybe.
It's not a
The
joke.
other thing is he's a professional, he's skilled, so he can pick up.
And
He was a wreck, croquet set.
That's the
because I can't
That's
operate
the funny thing.
with no information.
Just look at those professional athletes. Oh, I could do that.
I mean, everybody's told me that fences are in one place. The city's told me another place. I just, I don't know what's going on, and I need some answers. Because I'm showing, I'm trying to do my mirror run, deceased world champion for preseason.
That's insane.
Which cost me $500, should have been, much less fees. And my mirror boards.
Oh, yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, I run like 4 5s after 40s.
Plus another 1,000 to.
Now, is that also from Nordstrom Rack?
No, I don't, no, I don't believe it. No.
I like it.
I think I got it billed.
It's just, hey, did you ever?
If only I can pull it off.
I haven't yet.
Okay, are we good on time, Brandon?
Yep, we are right on the dot. It is
All right,
8:06.
we are back in regular session, so. We will continue with our agenda items, advisory reports. City Administrator.
Yes, council, I have one item I want to get feedback on. In the 2024 budget, we have a contingency item in the general fund of $1 million. And if you read through the narrative portions of our budget, there's a recognition that with the growth and development that's happening this year, there would be needs that were unforeseeable at the time of budget adoption. So I'll bring one to you this evening. We're formulating our 2024 budget, and the Cameron Moffmer, our building official, has submitted a request for an additional building inspector position for that department in 2024. And he came to me several weeks ago with a very good case that he needs that person now, rather than wait till the first of the year or, if the budget gets adopted. And I completely agree with that. While Panasonic's going on, we have the Lexington Avenue apartments that are starting, several other residential projects in the works, and there's quite a need for an additional building inspection person. In addition to that, what we are going to do is move our current codes enforcement officer is also the capital projects inspector. Move him to capital projects full-time because we've got a lot of capital projects going on. And so the new building inspection position will be able to do the codes enforcement and help out with building inspections, so we'll have that hole there. So I guess all that is a long way to ask for your approval to move forward with advertising and recruiting for another building inspector in the building inspection department.
Okay. Any questions from council?
You need that as a formal motion or just a consent?
I think just a consent would be fine, and acknowledge that that's funding's coming out of that contingency fund.
So you do have the firm that is providing building services for the Panasonic plant, correct, on a
Yeah.
contract basis? Is there any
Plan review too.
chance or opportunity for them to provide some relief to the city until you can get this position hired? In the event that
There's
some
an
lead time
opportunity
there?
for that. Yeah, I think we could have that discussion. The need, though, is to get somebody hired and trained. And,
Right. I'm just wondering if it takes you a while to get that position filled. I don't know what you think for the lead time is going to be in this market, but
Yeah, it's going to be several months for sure.
yeah. So if does that provide you a short-term?
It could. Yeah, it's
On
something we
demand.
can discuss with them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Plan
I'm-
review specifically.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, council. That was all I had.
All right. City attorney,
Nothing for me, thank you.
city planner,
No comments tonight, Mayor.
your wife didn't make the whole meeting.
No, executive
You,
session.
you notice when his wife is here, though, he does not forget to come up to the podium.
Best behavior.
Best baby.
City engineer.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Tomorrow, we've got statements of qualifications in for the wastewater treatment plant for the progressive design build teams. Graciously, Mayor Walker and Councilmember Lane have volunteered to be on that committee for the selection. So that we'll have interviews about 2 weeks after that, so we'll be bringing a contract, within probably 4 weeks of that. So probably 4 to 6 weeks, you'll see a contract for the progressive design. And then we selected Garney as a contractor for the water treatment plant. They did an unbelievable job in their proposal. They came up with an idea that no one really thought of. Their proposal is actually to build an entirely new water plant next to the existing plant, and then we can demo the existing plant that's 80 years old. So rather than rehab a plant and getting another 20 years of life out of it, we're actually going to get a 50-year life at essentially the same cost. So
A little less, I mean,
A little less.
little savings in time, funds and schedule.
say cut a year off.
A year off the schedule, so.
Removes a lot of uncertainty as well.
Right, just took all that uncertainty about what exactly they're dealing with. And, well, that makes a lot of sense.
That's on the water plant?
Water, yeah, the water plant.
And, you know, to further demonstrate their commitment to the project, we're actually already having Monday afternoon, they're working at risk, and we have a workshop Monday afternoon to go through design modifications. So they're really committed to the project. So we'll be bringing a contract with them, their pre-construction services. The CMAR process is at least 2 steps. So the pre-construction services is about $330,000 for their fee. They also had the lowest GMP, the lowest CMAR fee percentage-wise. So their CMAR fee is only 6%, which is the bottom end of this industry standard. So we'll be bringing that at the next council meeting. Hopefully we'll have that all negotiated. And then once we get to 60% plans, we'll bring the final guaranteed maximum price contract, with the caveat that there are some long lead time items that have already been identified. So we may be bringing intermittent contracts as the project progresses. So, but anyway, thank you, Mayor and Councilmember Lane, for helping with that. Yep, that's all.
You're welcome. It's a good day.
Yep.
Assistant City Administrator, Brandon, what do you have for us?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Council comments. Danny, any comments for the group tonight?
Just wanted to say thanks to the Park and Rec people for their help today with the chairs and setup in the gym. I know that was a little extra work, and we appreciate that wholeheartedly. And that's all I had, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Kevin?
I just wanted to thank Chad for getting somebody out there to deal with that ditch on Waverly. And for also, yeah, and for also cleaning up the debris that's been blown away from that property. So appreciate it. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Rob?
Nothing tonight.
All right. Lori?
Well, I didn't know about the event today, so otherwise I might have tried to make it. So I don't know how that went, but yeah, I had one other thing. Now it blew my mind here what it was. But, so I guess I'll just pass on it. Oh, no. The excitement, the heart. Yes.
Oh, the heart.
I knew I had something good to say, so I just want to publicly say thank you to, of course, Whitney, I'm sure had something to do with it. I know the mayor had a little bit to do with it, but Pam Sonny for bringing that here. You know, as a city, we're always looking for what makes us a destination, and at least through July, we'll be a destination. So that's pretty cool.
Well, it reinforces our connection to the greater metropolitan area.
Right.
Sometimes we think we're forgotten.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
stuff like that reminds people that we're here, so. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, because I know a lot of people that make a point to go around and get a picture at every one, so that's great. We had Clearwave come in and give us an update and a status on their progress throughout the city. We've had KDOT come in and now give us an update. Could we invite Evergy to come in, since they're working all the way from Corliss to Evening Star and north and south of K10? It'd be great to kind of hear their overall plan. Would that be something?
Absolutely.
we
Yeah,
could do?
we're working real closely with them to gear up and do this, the public information campaign. So, doesn't seem like it would, it's in line with what we're trying to do with
Okay.
it. So, yeah, we can certainly extend that request to them.
Excellent. Thanks.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good suggestion. I don't think I have anything tonight, so
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Thank you for your help.
Hey.